Hi, I'm Dan Perky. There's a reason why that old bromide exists that says to assume makes an ass out of you and me. Assumptions are the silent assassins of effective communication. Without effective communication, your organization slumps into inefficiency and ineffectiveness. Projects take longer than they should. Deadlines are frequently missed if deadlines exist at all. Customer complaints are high. Interdepartmental relations are strained. Many conversations or disagreements start with the phrase, "Well, I thought you said." Assumptions are a necessary evil. We can't live without them. If we tried to follow each and every assumption made in any conversation back to its factual source, we'd spend all of our time tracing root causes instead of exchanging ideas. My message with assumptions is not that they're so bad that you should never use them because they'll kill you, but that you need to be aware of when assumptions are made and in play in the conversation. It's the lack of awareness that causes disagreements and misunderstandings, as bad assumptions unwittingly get incorporated into discussions and send people off on unintended tangents. That's the definition of inefficiency. Be aware. Certainly not every disagreement has its roots in a bad assumption, but it's the best place to start when you want to reach a mutual understanding. When you're in an argument with someone, as hard as that may be, take a time out and stop talking. Just stop. The other person may also stop, since now you've disengaged from the interaction. If they don't, just say something a bit off base like, "Hey, wait a minute. Can I have just a minute to think? How did this argument start in the first place?" Now that's easier said than done, since both parties' emotions are probably at a fever pitch. But if you can be the bigger person, step back and take that logical, third-person objective view of the situation, you'll find your argument may go away. You'll suddenly be engaged in a calmer dialogue as you both try to find the root cause of the disagreement. Not only have you both now drifted onto the same team with a common goal, find the root cause of the disagreement, but you'll likely find that the root cause is an assumption made by one or both of you. Often identifying the root cause assumption will allow you to find common ground that you previously thought didn't exist. The challenge for everyone is to be able to recognize an assumption involved in a discussion before that assumption can infect the rest of the conversation. The problem and challenge of assumptions is having the skill to recognize them when they occur and being able to call them out as assumptions in the heat of what may be a highly charged emotional discussion. To become adept at it may well be the hardest thing you'll attempt in your career. I don't believe that's hyperbole, but more a statement of fact. It's a skill that must be and can be learned through a continuous front-of-the-mind awareness that assumptions permeate every communication. It's not an inherent skill most possess because most people don't give any thought to the process of communication. Thinking about the process of communication while in the act of communication is counterintuitive. It requires a force of will on your part to be able to break that cycle of assumption, then conclusion, then accusation. Now that's offset by the fact that if you can do it successfully, you'll have the most powerful tool there is at your command to generate effective communication, find root causes, and resolve interpersonal differences.